Never know if every time we start one of these episodes, there's like this little bit at the beginning where we're both just sat back.
We're both like,
Yeah, but it's like it starts recording before it actually lets you talk. Oh
oh,
fucking hell!
really? Because on me, it does like three, two, one, and it starts.
We were just sat there like a pair of lemons, and
I
then
think it's better when we just go, right, we just kind of
boom.
like carry on from what we were talking about before.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like, oh, yeah, we're doing another episode. Oh, yeah, yeah, we are, aren't
yeah.
we? It's
Do you
like,
remember when we first did 101? We did like an intro, and then we got them to talk about themselves, and then we did
I know.
so
I
long winded.
This was like, and we actually properly gave it a thought. We were like, right, you introduce it one time, I'll do it the next. And it was like, yeah.
The more you do these, the more you realize that it needs to be like just free flowing, free flowing.
Do you
Like,
ever think like some people literally like that's what's stopping them from actually doing well? It's actually like speaking on social media. Like I know you're the same. I've never had an issue with people being around me, being in a shop, your missus being next to you. I'll just talk.
100%, yeah. You know what? And the only time that I've got a problem is if let's say I'm talking about a subject, like a proper
Yeah.
thing. Like I'm not just riffing about something that's happened to me. I'm talking about a proper thing. If Amy films me, it puts me off. Like,
Really?
yeah. So like, if I'm talking about insulin sensitivity, let's just say, for example, but it's something that I have to think about. And if Amy's watching me, fucking hell, I end up like going, oh, Amy, get out of the room. I have to film it myself.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you need that. Like sometimes you're kind of like, especially if it's like, say for like Instagram or something that's got to be quite concise and to the point where you can't waffle on too much. If it's like a YouTube video, I don't think it matters as much.
I'll
But
agree on that one. I'll agree. Yeah, like when it's an Instagram video and I'm trying to keep it under a minute 30, obviously I trim it and stuff. Like the whole video is like 4 minutes and I make it to like
yeah,
1 minute 30. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I find sometimes when I'm making some of my videos, I'm recording, re-recording it. Even like how you sound when you record a certain segment, it it just doesn't sound right. So you just re-record it.
even facial expressions. You know, like
Sure.
sometimes I'll be talking about something and I feel like I sound monotonous and my face is just too like this. So I'll add a bit of character. Like, you know what I'm doing now with my hands. I'll add stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
So I feel like it just
yeah,
comes across a
yeah,
little bit better. You
yeah,
know.
for
So
sure.
I've seen
But like,
yeah,
yeah,
go
go
on.
on. No, you go.
So I've seen your new Instagram. Well, it's not new, is it? Well, it's newish. The
Oh,
tattoo
it
one.
isn't new. I've had it like 2 weeks or so.
It is so. I totally get. I get it. I get the direction right. It's designed to be viral.
I will
Every
show you. It's
video should
like
go viral.
so. If you look on here, oh,
Mm.
hold on. If you look on here, right, I've just opened it.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
So, so what does that say? Like that's about 5 minutes time. 16 comments, 100 likes, 74 follows. It's stupid. Like I've never seen anything like it. Even my TikTok, where my TikTok kind of gradually took off. But then again, I didn't know what I was doing at the time. I was kind of learning on the job. Whereas now I kind of started that account. I plastered all my content on there that I kind of had from TikTok, and it just went. It's like,
So it's like every video is designed to go viral. Everyone is like, is this? It'll be like this is the type of video. It'll go 3 things you want to avoid when you get a tattoo.
yeah.
5 things that you will regret. Like it's just so obvious that it's going to go viral. It's so
And
it's a subject that can go viral so easily.
I think it's because one, a lot of people have tattoos, and most people have got tattoos of some sort. Two, if you know anything about the tattoo community, a lot of people, everyone has really strong views about their own tattoos. So meaning, if I'm telling you you're going to regret that tattoo, what do you mean you telling me I'm going to regret my fucking tattoo? Fuck off. You know, so it's kind of like that. And then other people are like that maybe share some different views are like, yeah, your tattoos are shit, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like it just creates like that like conflict. Um,
So you and me have talked about this before. You know how how we used to be online.
yeah.
I would sometimes I cringe to say I post stuff and I can't believe it. I'm like, why was I so aggy? Why was I so ready for an argument? Like, so now my question is to you: do you not feel that you can't be asked with the argument? Though? Like you
I
might do
don't
something.
argue. I
So
don't
you know when
respond.
people go back to you, what would you do? Just leave it. I mean,
I don't respond to comments. So especially on TikTok, like Some of my videos have like 5,000 comments. Like I can't respond to them all. So I don't respond. And it's mostly people argue amongst each other. So
So what I found over the years, as I say, my problem was I would argue back with everyone, and
yeah,
it would end up like engulfing my whole evening. Like, so let's say I posted a video or a status at 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
yeah.
By 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, I'm still going back and forth, fucking arguing. And
The
it's
way
like,
I see it is if I see a comment and it's kind of like a comment that triggers you a little bit, I look at the person's profile. If they've got no picture, 3 followers, and like a private account, I just disregard it because you just know it's coming from a place where no matter what you say, it will make no difference because you're not going to get through to that person. If it's a person like I go on your account and I'm like, right, this guy's got followers, he's got, he is a real person that I can see. Well, maybe I can have a chat with him and see why he feels that way.
right, yeah, okay. I guess to be honest with most trolls, internet trolls, are not worth any. They're not worth your time. Not worth 5 minutes. Do you know what I mean?
No,
They just
no.
they say their accounts with like 20 followers, no posts. Like, who cares?
And I'll tell you what, so I think the account matters, meaning if you've had the account for a long time, it just goes stale. It just doesn't get your content doesn't get pushed. Where like as I spoke to my mate and he had exactly the same thing I had, and he's on 60,000 in about 2 months. And he said to me, look, I think you need a new account. Because at first I was going to work with the account that I've already got 10,000 on from years and years back. And he's like, don't bother with that. He said, just make a new account. He said, it'll get there. And I think that's probably a factor. You just need a new account and you just start from scratch, start fresh.
I tell you what, it's partly like, so like back to like my account. My account, obviously, I talk about bodybuilding shit, so it's always going to be niche. Like 99% of most people don't give a shit, right? But my stories used to get like 1,500 to 2,000 views.
Yeah,
Now they're getting about 400.
really.
Yeah, it's
Do
like,
you not think maybe it's worth maybe starting a new account where you can just to see, and because you're going to get a bunch of like, let's say 1 or 2 thousand people are going to start following that new account straight away. And I think when Instagram sees that, it'll start pushing your content to other people.
do you think start another account but the same stuff or like new
Oh
stuff?
yeah. And I would say don't post pictures. Like you see, I don't post any pictures. It's all reels. They don't give a fuck about pictures. So pictures are pointless. And I find hashtags don't matter. People are like, oh, hashtags, your title doesn't matter. Like my title is like one line. Like hashtags don't matter, or your title doesn't matter. It's exactly that. It's the content. And I think it's about again like creating that, because you can transfer that into bodybuilding. You can just say, oh, like the 5 exercises or the 5 mistakes people make, or anything stuff. I mean, look at that. What's that guy? James Smith, is it?
Yeah,
Mate, the content he makes.
yeah. I tell you what though, for me, you know what? Like in the last podcast, I said I've got to do things to make that are enjoyable for me. If I'm just posting stuff for interaction, I don't enjoy it because I'll be honest. Here's how I see when I see. Let me think. Let me like this. Right. Hey guys, here's my 3 top exercises to build your back. Like
Yeah.
when I see that, I'm literally like, oh,
Oh yeah, but not like that. Not like that. Um,
I just
I think it's about like stirring up some drama in a way that
yeah,
people
but
are
I
going to
can't
feel
be asked.
strongly about.
I can't be.
Huh?
I know what you're saying, and I don't disagree. I just can't be asked. I think if I just stay true to myself and post what I want and post things that are relevant to me, I feel like it gives me more satisfaction, even if it is less interaction. You know?
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would way much rather talk about my own tattoos and things like that. But people don't give a shit. People don't give
No,
a
they
shit
don't.
who I am. People don't give a shit about my fucking tattoos. They want me to talk about other stuff. It's like, and I get that. So
No. People don't give a shit. Like, let's have it right. People don't give a shit about anything. Like, like people say they'll say this. They'll go, "Oh, I wasn't sure whether to post this or not." No one cares. Like, in the greatest, I'm trying to be nice here. It's not that I'm trying to be horrible. No one gives a fuck. If
No.
you or me or anyone stop posting right now, no one gives a fuck. You're forgotten like that. You are.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know why people put so much like importance to this stuff. So so then to go back to what I just said, that's why to me the interaction thing, I'm like, yeah, whatever. If I'm posting and I'm satisfied with what I post because it's me,
Yeah.
that's fine.
No, I
That's
think you put too much effort into your social media, into presentation, into just overall effort for it to be seen by not as many people as it should, as it deserves. And then you get someone that almost like posts content that you just think that is almost subpar, but then they get a lot more traction. It's kind of like it just that's what I hate.
yeah. I
Looks
get
like a
that.
waste of my time.
I understand that. The way there isn't really a set answer. I think so the amount of inboxes that I get about companies or like people trying to make my content for me,
Yeah.
like, hey, I'll do your reels for you. You pay me. You know the type, right? But I enjoy doing it. I enjoy making the stuff myself because I don't feel like it's a hardship. So
No.
it's not like I'm making a reel feeling like, oh,
And I
I don't
don't
mind
think that
doing
would
it.
work
I quite
because
like doing it.
your content is individual to your
Yeah.
character, to your like, and like right now I'm now at the point where I've got planned, like almost I've got topics written down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
I'll do
every
the same.
morning I've got like a routine of I'll get up, I'll come down here, I'll grab a monster and I'll start typing my kind of like on notes, I'll start like planning the video for that day. I've got a schedule of what I post when. So it's like it's gotten to that point where it needs a lot more planning and a lot more effort. I'll record it at a certain time. I'm like, right, about two-ish, I'm recording it. 5:30, it's a posting time. So it's one of these things where I'm like, mine is kind of gone to that point where it's a lot more planned. But to start, it doesn't need to be.
No, I think the difference again between the two, you and I, your subject matter is more broad, and your audience is
100%.
your audience is broad. People care more about that subject. Bodybuilding will always be this, fucking like this.
I
So
think there's got to be a way of. I mean, look at that Sam. Sam, was it? Is it Sam Shulek or something? He's massive on TikTok. He's sponsored by Hostile. This kid, he's 21. He's got like longish hair. You know the one, mate. His TikToks are going viral. He is blowing up.
ah, I feel like I'm just kicking back all the time. Like, oh yeah, but yeah, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's my age. You're 26 now, right?
26.
Yeah, I'm 36. I feel like shit changes as you go older. I can't be asked to chase numbers like that. For me, maybe if I was 26, it would be a bit different. But I can't be asked.
I think it's
I want to do what I want to do, not what I think Instagram will do. You know what I mean?
yeah, but it's not about that. So, like, it's not you. If you enjoy that like I enjoy the content I produce. That's why I don't
Yeah.
posting training stuff because I almost feel like it detracts from my training. I just don't enjoy speaking about bodybuilding. Plus, we've done this for so long that I kind of feel like I just don't get enjoyment out of it. So
Yeah.
I know the content I make will also get the views, but it just has to be tweaked in a certain way of what you say and how you deliver the content.
That makes sense.
Rather than it being, this is what I need to post about because I know that's going to get views. So
that makes sense. So you post the stuff you want to post, but just give it an edge.
yeah, because it's about how you word things.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
For example, on TikTok, the video I done this morning, I posted today, right? So that video, he's got 100,000 views almost in 4 hours, right? So the video is about prison tattoos. But instead of me saying prison tattoos or whatever, I just said tattoos that can get you in trouble. What do you mean it can get me in trouble? What does that fucking mean? You angle it in a certain way, and then you go into, then you go into the actually explaining what the tattoos are and things like that. It's how you say stuff.
I get that.
And it's in that 3 second, in the first 3 seconds, that if people watch that, your video is going to get pushed.
It's so true because actually, like when you're just scrolling for reels yourself, if it doesn't capture your attention pretty soon, you're like, oh, yeah, that's
There's
so
millions
true.
of them.
Yeah, because you're like, nah.
The best way to do it is you go on the like the best tool you can find is you go on the search bar and you type in, say, I don't know, bodybuilding training or back day or glute day or like wherever, and you refine the titles, the refine the content. So you might go most liked this week. It has to be this week. It can't be last month or last year. It has to be this week. It has to be relevant, meaning a lot of people are talking about this topic right now. So I will go tattoos, right? For example, I did a video on the least friendly tattoo countries. I watched this video and two guys are talking about this, 6 million views. I'm like, okay, so that means people are talking about this, and it's in the search of the most of like almost trending stuff on TikTok. So I remade a video like that, but it was almost like had my own spin on it. And most people actually said they preferred the way I've done it. You know, it's if you're talking about something that no one's talking about, it probably won't get pushed. It has to be like relevant.
It's so funny, isn't it? Yeah, because I feel like throughout my whole life, I've always been that way. Whatever's popular, I don't know if it's, I don't know if I'm going against it because it's popular.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? I feel like maybe that's my personality. If something is like getting pushed by everything, I go away from it. But if you want interaction, if you want numbers, then you do need to go with it a little bit.
I mean, a while back, you did some stuff with Amy that worked quite well.
Yeah, I just don't like doing it.
No?
No, like, you know, like we've done like stupid videos where I'm wearing her clothes. Yeah. That's the most viewed video I've ever had. But
so you don't like that type of content?
It's just not me. It isn't. I did it because I was in a relationship 3 years ago. So me and Amy just got together, and she was like, "Oh, do you mind doing this with me?" And I was like, "Oh God." But in reality, that ain't me.
Okay. So then there has to be something that you would like to speak about that is, well, hold on, why does it have to be bodybuilding? See, I went completely different route. I went to tattoos. Why don't you speak about music? You love metal. So obviously the music community is massive. So you can speak about, you know, oh, these are the 3 worst Metallica.
Right.
And people will be like, no, that's my favorite one. What the fuck is it? You know?
Yeah. Actually, yeah.
Because it doesn't have to be bodybuilding. Because like you said, bodybuilding just is niche. And I think it's not just niche. It's very fucking overpopulated. Because look at 3 or 4, 5 years back. We were both getting a lot more views and a lot more traction. Because it wasn't every cunt talking about it. Now everyone's got a fucking microphone. Everyone's fucking doing the same shit. And I think people just stick of it. They just think, oh.
100%. There's so many people, like, again, fucking who gives a shit? It's going to offend people, but like, they're so shit. I can't believe what I see. I literally have like this inner monologue in my head. I look at someone walking the gym, but they walk over and they set their little thing up, and I'm thinking, there is no way that you believe that you're good enough to record this and people are going to give a shit. There's no way that you believe it. They fucking are. Like some girl who's like lifting 5 kilo lateral raises with 0 definition, and she's like, and it's like, and she's filming it like, but she probably has a fucking TikTok following, and she probably gets loads of views. I don't know, man. Sometimes, like, it depresses me a little bit. If I think about that sort of shit too much, it actually depresses me because there's so much talent out there that doesn't get noticed, and so much bullshit that gets noticed. It kind of is really backwards.
Let me show you something. So I think your look is something that is, you can bank on that. You can capitalize on that. So my mate that I was just talking to you about, right? He doesn't do anything to do with body. His content isn't about bodybuilding. So watch this, right? So that's the sort of content he does. Right. So that video of his has 1,000.
Straight away, I'll be honest with you. Straight away, I was like, gay.
1,700 likes.
Yeah, right? But there's no way I'm doing that shit.
No, but I'm not saying you should do this. I'm saying he has obviously done something with that look. So like when you're lean and when you can speak about anything, people will just watch you for the fact that, oh, how you look. You see what I mean? How you look, the size you are, and especially when you're in prep and that.
Yeah.
you're a good looking guy as well. So obviously with that, you can, that just sets you up for people. People will listen to anything you say, but it's about what you talk about. And I think Bollywood is just too boring. So if it was me, I would pick. I bet you if I didn't have, maybe if I had all the same tattoos, but if it wasn't the same size, I probably wouldn't get the same traction.
Yeah, you've got a look, haven't you? Like you've
got to have a look.
Yeah. I feel like do you know that type of video reminds me of this? You know, I think I've talked about him before, and do you know what? Shout out to him, Charlie Paul, Charlie London.
Yeah.
Proper nice dude, good bodybuilder. Really get on with him. Like it's nothing to do. It's not personal, and I'd say it to his face as well. This is not fucking me slamming on him, but look at this shit. I posted this yesterday, and I thought,
I know, but look, that's their angle because
like,
these guys obviously do the OnlyFans thing and that. See, this is why I couldn't do it because I can't do that shit. I just no.
But that's what I see. That type of video, you know, the guy like fair play. Yeah, you get all the.
Yeah.
I would put money on it. Not that even this even matters. I'm just talking now, but like I bet it's about 90% men.
It is, and this is exactly why I couldn't do it.
So you're just now making videos for gaming,
and this is why I couldn't do it. Right. But that I wasn't saying you should do this. I'm just saying to you, like he's got the look, like good-looking guy, good physique. So no matter what he does, you're gonna get the attraction.
Yeah.
So for yourself, I wouldn't bother talking about bodybuilding. And the thing is, it's not fun to talk about bodybuilding because this is all you do. You're constantly doing bodybuilding. So you've got other interests. Talk about something else.
Yeah, and I see that point. But I'm also a believer. I feel like I always go to, I'm saying, but it's like I just want to do things that feel natural to me. Right now, everything else would feel forced. It just feels I do what feels right. Same as you, I make notes to myself. Like literally, I just constantly like adding little notes to it. It's quite long.
Yeah,
always. I just make those. These are things to talk about. Things that come up a lot. And I feel like what I want to be known as, I want to be specific to what I want to. I specifically want to target a certain type of person.
Right. Okay.
I don't want a mass audience. I want specific audience.
But then if it's too specific, you're not going to get that many because you know you've got to have a broad spectrum of people that would be like, for example, couldn't you talk about like a lot of people that do quite well on there is the people that talk about like relationships, that sort of stuff does quite well.
Yeah.
So, and again, you could put stuff that is a bit triggering for some people, like just almost like quite extreme views, but in a way that is
that actually that's a good one actually. It's quite a good one. And actually, I wanted to talk to you about this. So you've just reminded me. Amy posts quite provocative stuff. I don't know if you follow her. Yeah. You follow her, don't you?
Oh yeah.
She posts quite provocative stuff. She done a photo shoot on Saturday that she dieted down for. She done a show, then she had like a couple of off plans, and then she dieted down again. And it was like kind of like raunchy. Like you can see her nipples for a top, she pulled her top off, yeah, right. What is your opinion on being the boyfriend of a girl that does that?
So, do you ever get called out? Oh, but you like girls' pictures. Do you get called out about that?
No, because I don't like girls' pictures.
Not anymore.
Well, yeah, when I was single, I did, but I don't know.
Yeah. So I see. I'm one of those people that I know that she isn't going to go and like and talk to other guys and that. So I know it's like she where that comes from. She's like, oh, I see on your new Instagram, all you follow is girls. I'm like, well, yeah, I don't want to see blokes, so I'm not going to follow blokes, am I? She's like, oh, yeah, but you've liked some of their pictures. I'm like, what are you talking? I said, look, you get about 7 fucking blokes message you every day, right? They all like your pictures, comment under your fucking shit. Well, have I ever said anything? I don't say anything because why? I don't give a fuck because I know that she isn't going to go and do something, right? So in a way, that applies exactly the same way to Amy. If you're good looking and you can show that off and you don't entertain other people, I don't see a problem with it because why wouldn't you? In fact, if other guys were trying to message my bird, I would be like, fuck, I need to leave her. I need to like no one's fucking interested. Like I need to go
Yeah,
and get
yeah, yeah, yeah.
someone else. Like I would want other people to find her attractive. So in a way, I think that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, that's good, man. You got the same view as me. Clearly, I don't give a fuck either. Like, it's not because I'm not like I love Amy and I want to be with her. It's not. I just don't give a fuck because I trust her.
Yeah.
So if she's showing her body off, like great. I actively want men to fancy her.
Bro, I mean,
Yeah,
prime example, we did OnlyFans together. That
yeah,
I mean, it
yeah.
doesn't get any more than, but like I said, it's because I'm like, well, I'm the only guy that's gonna touch her, so it makes no odds, you
The
know?
moment, because Amy gets in, like all girls, any girl who's half decent looking is going to get fucking hammered by men.
Yeah.
Like inbox, inbox. Blah, blah, blah. So Amy gets them as well, but she never entertains it. Like, and she gives me complete access to everything. Not that I check it, but she
Oh,
always leaves her phone. Like it's all good.
yeah.
I
Well, even to the point
trust
where
her.
sometimes she'll be like, oh, look what this guy messaged me. And I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
who is it then? Well, I don't know him. I'm like, okay, well, that's fine, whatever then. Like,
yeah.
I don't know why you bother telling me. Like, I don't care. You know, it's not like it's not like I've got trust problems or anything. But I think girls think differently because of us sometimes. Maybe in the past we've given them reasons not to trust us, so they think they need to treat us the same way. So,
I
but
think,
yeah,
I think, I think. Here's how it's different. Right? Here's how it's different. When you were single, you're a good-looking guy. I feel like we both tell each other we're good looking. It's like the gayest
yeah, yeah,
episode ever. Anyway, but when you were single, you probably had girls in your inbox, but you didn't have floods and floods and floods. It's not like
yeah.
you know what I mean. You get a few, maybe here, there, yeah.
You're
But
normally the one doing the work.
exactly. But girls, right? A good-looking girl who's single, her inbox is bonkers, right?
Mm,
So, but girls don't act on it, whereas boys tend to act on it. You
yeah,
see what I'm saying? I think that's where it's a little bit different. So
true.
imagine a bloke getting 100 inboxes and he's got all the choice. It'd be a bit of a nightmare because girls get all that choice and they're like, oh, blokes don't see it that way. Blokes act on impulse a little bit more.
That's true.
Do
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah. So I feel like girls aren't going to act the same way. When girls show us attention, our girlfriends are going to get a bit more protective because in general, men are more impulsive.
men are a bit more. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, yeah, there is that, but equally, like, I think you get to a certain point where you just kind of think, like, look, you know, I'm not gonna go and fucking do something stupid. I'm not that fucking stupid. Like, you get to a certain point where you've got a lot more to lose than going
Yeah,
and smashing some random bird that you found. It's
100%. I think one of the big ones is this: where me and Amy, oh, just gone off. Where me and Amy now just leave our phones. We both know each other's passcodes. We leave our phones everywhere. Like there's no hiding at all. That is a game changer. And how many people watching this can say that they do that with their partner? I bet the answer is not many.
100%. Yeah,
There's not many
I'm the
because
same
there's
way.
always something to hide. You're always like worried about something.
Yeah, and this is exactly the same thing. She'll leave her phone upstairs, like I'm in the bed, but she'll leave it there and she'll go downstairs. I'm gonna do exactly the same thing. So I'm not bothered. Like I'll let her go on it and things like that. Not that she ever does, but like she'll go, "Oh, can I
Yeah,
use your calculator?" There you go. You know, something
100%.
like that.
Can I use your phone? Can I go on the internet quick? Yeah,
Yeah, delete my porn history.
sure. But yeah, but so that makes a big difference to your trust. So it's not like I spend my time going for Amy's phone. Knowing that I can,
Yes,
knowing that I can completely eases everything. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine.
it takes that out of you even wanting it. You know, it's kind of like yeah, hundreds. It's a little bit like when we diet and you just know I'm not allowed such
Yes.
such. I
Yeah.
fucking want it.
Yeah.
Whereas if I said to you now, do you want such to be like, nah, because I can go and get it.
It changes. It changed everything. It changed everything. And it's like, I wouldn't say that I'm like an insecure person because with age as well, I feel like I've calmed down a lot. But do you know, like when someone's lying, you know,
Right.
right? So if I were to say to Amy, hey, Amy, can I use your phone? And she gave it to me, but she gave it to me a bit like gingerly. Like, you
Yeah.
fucking know. You know when someone's hiding something. You fucking like, you've been around the block enough to know. But Amy
100%.
is
Yeah.
completely relaxed. I'm sure Bex is the same as well. So it's just like, it's easy. It's fucking easy.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think you got to be the same way.
No doubt. Yeah,
So
yeah,
then
yeah.
that way, you know,
I think again the reason why I brought it up initially as well about like, being the boyfriend of a girl who does that is because
oh yeah,
I know that there's certain people who are going to look at Amy's photos and think and think stuff, negative stuff. You know, like how does Ryan accept that, and or like why is she flaunting stuff like that? But I couldn't agree less. I think fair play to her. Like you should do whatever the fuck you want. You know,
Mate, I'm like I said to you, we did OnlyFans together. Like that sets you up for that exact thing. But I don't give a fuck because it's like I said to you, like it's between me and her.
yeah,
It's not about any other person.
definitely. I'm not like I don't see it as a sacred thing. Like oh, it's for me only. Yeah, of course. Like she is mine. Like,
Yeah.
she's my girlfriend. Just because someone else might be able to see her showing a bit of underboob or something, like that doesn't mean you've got her like me. I've got her. You haven't. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But some people don't see it that way. They see that there's this podcast I watch called Fresh and Fit, and they always talk about how when girls have Instagrams where they're exposing themselves, they
Yeah.
see it as like, oh, well, you've got a for sale sign. If you've got a boyfriend and you post provocative photos, you've got a for sale sign, and there's no like, it's so disrespectful, blah blah blah. And I'm like, I don't
I
agree.
think that they just say that again to just to drive like attention. I think they
Maybe,
actually believe that.
maybe. Well, the thing is, the guy, one of the guys, he's called Maran. He's actually super smart. He's like very, very articulate, but he's actually comes from a Muslim background, so he's got like different views.
Right. Okay.
But he's incredibly articulate, and he's really, really good at debating. He always goes on about how it's like, yeah, you shouldn't do that. Basically, if you want to get a high value man who respects you, you need to basically be a woman who completely covers up, gets rid of her Instagram, doesn't do anything.
I mean, maybe if you're let's say if you're looking for a man that works in a bank and is like something along those lines, but we're bodybuilders, we fucking pose in our pants all the time, so it goes together like
I guess it kind of depends on
your target.
yeah. If you've got like the CEO of a company and he's worth like fucking 20 million or something, is he really going to want a girl who's just fucking getting her tits out? Probably not. Probably not. Yeah,
He
but
might, because
he
some of
might.
those
Yeah, yeah.
birds are like making a fucking mint out of that because it's just again and again back to like the content she makes. Where if she didn't make content like that, she's got a lot of competition because every other girl does it. So it's kind of like with how we are. You kind of there's a large pool of competition. Like back in the day, maybe you could be dressed up and you could talk about what protein shake you're taking, but now you can't do that because it just won't get any views.
Yeah. So here's a question. You know, you and Bex did OnlyFans together.
Yeah.
Let's say you met her last year. When you met her, she had had an OnlyFans background, but it
Yeah.
wasn't you included. But what would that put you off?
No,
You still would have been okay.
I would have been fine. Well, as long as she's not. Look, I think with the OnlyFans, for it to do well, you've got to collab with a lot of people. So I wouldn't have that where she would go and obviously meet up with other people, men and women, because that's the nature of it. If you want to do well in that, you need to be doing that. By yourself, it just gets dry and it gets boring. So it depends on the extent of how far you're taking it. Depends on your like. I'm someone that I couldn't share. I'm not like that. But people that do it, because it hasn't happened to me, I don't know how I would feel. Like back in 3 or 4 years ago, I would have been like, no, fuck no. I think now I'm a lot more relaxed about that stuff.
Yeah, it changes, and I'm surprised at how I am now. And what you just said there, like 4 years ago, the way that you thought was differently now. I
Yeah.
can't believe that I'm this person because I remember being 25 and no, how old was I? Oh shit, no, I was actually in my early 20s. I was with this girl called Zoe, and what did she do? She said that this guy was good looking in the film. Fuck, I can't remember who it was. There was this guy, and she was like, "Oh, he's so handsome," or something like that. I fucking walked out of the house.
Really?
Like I couldn't. I was so maybe insecure, maybe just I don't know what it was, but I couldn't
Yeah.
take it. Fucking walked out of the house, and I was like, no, no, no. She was like calling me, please come back, and I was like, no, no, no. You fucking fancy him. He was like a Hollywood actor,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and
I think
that,
you grow up a lot. Like, I mean, even now, I'll be looking at like different birds and I'm like, oh, this bird's got massive tits. So I said that'll be my next bird. And she just, it's stuff like that we say to each other. And it doesn't.
it's really nice to like actually still know people who are a bit like what I just said.
Right.
Not exactly that scenario, but like they cannot take it. And it's
Mm.
fucking so much. Your life is so much easier when you relax on that shit. We'll be watching a film now, and I'll be like, "Fucking hell, he's good looking."
Yeah.
I will tell her he's good looking as fuck. She'll be like, "No, not really." I'm like, "You having a laugh? He's well good looking." Like it change, like it really relaxes you. That you're
Yeah.
secure with yourself, you know.
Oh yeah, she'd be like, "Oh, there's this film," and I'm like, "I look shit. Oh, we're gonna go see it though because The Rock's in it." I'm like, "Okay."
Oh, okay, good.
So shit like that, but that doesn't bother me because it's like, why would it? You know?
Mad, yeah. But now I see the light. I see the logic. But back in the day, man, I was bad. Couldn't accept it. Couldn't accept
Yeah,
it.
I mean, see, I've never had that because for me, just never really been in a lot like long enough relationship to where like you get to that point to where you would give a fuck.
Yeah. Unfortunately for me, as I say, maybe it's ego. Maybe it's like my ego couldn't take it, or whatever. Insecurity. It wasn't even if I was with a girl. It was just like I didn't like any girl that I was sleeping with, meeting up with, or
Yeah,
anything talking about. I just didn't want it. I didn't want it. I don't know. But my life has become so much better when I let all that go. So
I
much
think
better.
also when you look at let's back to kind of Amy's content or any of these like girls that might let's say what you said about like dating someone who's got an OnlyFans. What I see is I don't see the OnlyFans. I'm seeing right that girl is switched on. She's got her shit together. She's making her own money. She's doing well. That's the attractive thing for me. It's not so much I like to see people that do well rather than people that like are stuck up about certain idea of what things how should be like how things should be and things like that. You know, that's the thing I see.
I think I find that attractive as well. What you just said there. I find it attractive when a girl has um I don't know if the right word is ambition. I don't know if that's even the right word, but like has a desire to better herself. You know, like
Yeah.
it's not enough just to be and
Yeah.
expect me to pay for everything. As much as I pay for most things in our relationship, she certainly pays for stuff as well. She makes
It's not
pretty good
about
money.
paying. I don't think it's about paying. It's about like just being a certain way, having a certain life, like a certain drive in life. You know, that's what it is about
Definitely,
to me.
there are things that I wouldn't have necessarily thought I was attracted to. I am. I'm attracted to confidence as well. If somebody's really shy and inside themselves, I can't really get on board with that either. And actually, that goes with males as well. Not that I'm attracted to males, but like when I'm looking like
I know
for
what you
friendship,
mean.
one of the people that I connect with,
Yeah.
you and I, that we can talk about anything.
Yeah.
And I like that. There are some people that it doesn't seem that way. They seem closed off.
Quite awkward. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I've come across plenty of people, I'm sure you have as well. And yeah, and so ambition and confidence, they're nice traits that I didn't even think of that I like, but I do.
I mean, that's why. I mean, how many people in bodybuilding that you call friends, you only ever speak to about bodybuilding? Like you wouldn't speak about anything else but bodybuilding because it's just how they are. That's just all they've got going on. That's all you can talk to them about, or it's all they can open up about.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I feel if you're like that and you can't help it, I guess you can't help it, right? But like bodybuilding's a funny one because it does tend to like take over. When you start competing and start working in it starts to take over everything. And I think it's really important to try and remember that you are more than that. You're
Yeah,
more than bodybuilding. Like bodybuilding is fantastic and it's great that you earn a living from it and all that. But remember that there are other things, you know. I,
I
I
think
feel like people lose
when you're
sight
at,
of that.
when you're at the point you're at, that's I think more than fair enough as well. But a lot of these guys that are like either just starting out or they haven't even got the potential, you just think, why are you wasting your time? Why are you so invested in something that's not going to bring you anything?
I guess the answer is you like what you like, and you might not be able to help it. You sort of like you're just into this. Like, let's be honest, right? If you what my mum actually said this to me once upon a time. So why couldn't you have chosen something else? Because bodybuilding, like, you have to pay to enter shows, your food bill, your steroids. Like it's an expensive hobby, right?
Yeah.
You want to pick a hobby that's going to give you back more. It's probably one of the worst ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think a hobby is that. A hobby is something that just hemorrhages money. It's not something
Okay,
that's I think that's the point of a hobby. Like pick anything. Pick tennis or
Golf.
football or anything like swimming. Like, I mean, swimming is actually kind of a sport, I'd say, but like anything that's like a hot tattoos. I mean, tattoos are fucking expensive. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, probably cost you 100 grand for like to get a bodysuit. You know, it's expensive. So
I guess when you word it that way, everything is like that. But I think with the point I was trying to make is like you like what you like, you kind of can't help it. You know, have you ever heard of the iron bug? Like once
yeah,
you're
yeah.
bitten by the iron bug, you can't. That's it. You can't just switch off from this. I think some people can't help it. Their personality is revolved around bodybuilding, and that's it. They can't
Mm.
really help it.
I just think it's important to have other interests because I see people on it like time and time again, and they say it themselves like I've got nothing else outside of bodybuilding, and that's not good because that
Long
can be
time,
taken away from you like that.
yeah, long time. It's definitely not good. It's funny because based on my Instagram, based on even this podcast, which is what you know, the podcast was started around the subject of bodybuilding. That's
Yeah,
the core of it. Right? Based on all of this, it would appear that that's all I talk about. But actually, with my friends, day to day, it rarely comes up. It's interesting. I've never, I don't think of that. I don't appreciate that sometimes. More often than not, we're talking about all other things, be it fucking MMA, be it music, be it fucking holidays, be it whatever the fuck, or even
and
memories, you know,
I
like
mean
old
that's
school
how we
friends.
are. That's how we are. Like when we meet up and even on the podcast, like
Yeah.
we've kind of shifted that a lot more to talk about like other things, I almost think like switching away from maybe like the podcast is a platform, like kind of like the platform that starts off something else where we can turn that into something else outside of bodybuilding.
Well, this was the idea. Do you remember when we first had the idea to do it? It was like we've got this is our like skeleton, but within
Yeah,
that we can like go off on tangents and talk about all sorts of shit.
yeah.
That was always the idea, wasn't it?
But I mean, like with your content, in the way that let's say we speak about like that topic that we just spoke about, the whole thing. How would you feel if your bird does such and such? Well, why couldn't you speak about that on your Instagram and make that about an Instagram? And like
I
that's kind
absolutely
of like
could. Yeah.
that's a topic that people would want to hear about.
Yes, relatable, relatable. It's interesting, man. Like this conversation actually has. Funny enough, you know, a lot of times you just chat shit, you know, whatever, this, that, and the other, and you kind of forget what you even spoke about. But this conversation has actually made me think. Like, don't,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be a certain way. It can be what you want it to be. Like, why does it have to be? Here's my tips for people on prep. Like, you know, you don't have to do that. You can make it anything you want. I don't know.
And I would, because I think again, like when you think about training, when you think about food, and then you got to make bodybuilding content, and you got to, it just starts to suffocate you a little bit. I think where you find that because you're constantly just about doing the same thing. Like imagine that this is your job. Imagine someone that has an office job. Well, they work from 9 to 5. In fact, funny enough, I went to see my mate this morning, and he's oh fucking hell, I've got these calls. He works for the NHS. He's quite high up. He does this like planning and all sorts of stuff about the infrastructure of the NHS. And he goes, oh, fucking hell, people are doing my head in. And I'm like, he's like, when it comes to 5 o'clock though, I stop. And I'm like, that's interesting. That kind of made me think like 9 to 5. Once you're done, you're done. Bodybuilding is 24/7. You get up, you do steps, cardio, you come back, meals, prepare to go to the gym. You go to the gym, you come back, post workout. It's all, and you constantly clients because you're working that. You've got no break from it.
And I think that does happen to me without even realizing it. But I will say this: if you are really invested in your job, really hard, I would even argue impossible to switch off. Right. So think about people who are self-employed. So the guy who works for the NHS, he's obviously employed by the NHS. But like,
Yeah, yeah,
think
yeah,
about when you've got your own business. Okay, think about a landscape gardener, a fucking carpenter who works for himself, and he's got
yeah.
several employees. You know, you don't just switch off. You don't because, like, let's say you get a phone call at 8 o'clock at night, or so you know someone's seen your website or someone's seen your fucking business card. You take that call because it means something to you because it's your business. So I think when you work for yourself and you really are invested in the subject, like what I am, it's near impossible to switch off. Near impossible. Not
But
impossible, but near impossible.
let's flip that and talk about, you're talking about kind of the bottom tier people that are self-employed, right? Carpenters, whatever. Then let's talk about the CEOs of the biggest companies and things like that. How do they get there? They didn't get there just through that. They probably did multiple different things, and they probably got involved in multiple different things, right? So in a way, I think it's important to have different avenues rather than just that, just that one thing. So in a way, you almost like use your time as different slots to do different things. Even like these like influencers and that are like life coaches or whatever. They'll say, "Oh, I'll get up at 4 o'clock and I'll read a book for about half an hour. Then I'll do this and I'll do that." And it's about different topics and stuff like that. So I do think you've got to have variety. You've got to have. There's got to be consistency for sure, but you've got to have like some sort of different stuff going on.
Okay, but then on the flip side of that, there's plenty of companies probably that require 100% attention.
Because you already are giving 100% attention, because you can't give your clients any more attention than they need. You're not sat there. You're not really sat there like thinking, "Oh, let me wait till someone messages me." Like, you can do other shit on the side, and then when that, especially because you're someone that's got time. You're someone that's got that time to do other shit.
Do you know what? And like with you with the tattooing thing, it obviously just felt right for you. It just felt right. You just fell into it because it's just something that you feel. Right now, I can't say that there's a thing that's like burning inside me that I need to do.
No, but it didn't come like that. So my TikTok, my initial thought was, right, we're gonna start this OnlyFans thing, right? Okay, cool. So how do I pull that away from my bodybuilding? Because I don't want to be I don't want to be promoting it on my bodybuilding page, because it's just not. You kind of want to keep things separate. Cool. Well, let me start TikTok, because I knew people were saying TikTok's quite a big platform, especially for that style content. Quite a lot of people get quite a lot of views. Cool. Started my TikTok, and I'm like, right. So with my TikTok, what am I going to talk about? Well, bodybuilding is one. So I'm going to not talk about bodybuilding directly, but I'm going to post my training, things like that. Maybe that'll pick up. What else have I got? Cars. Post stuff of my car. What else do I like? Tattoos. Cool. So I start posting about these 3 different topics. Well, the car thing didn't really pick up. The bodybuilding stuff was just dry, because again, like I was posting my training, which again, like a lot of million fucking people do that. And then I start posting my tattoos. And one of my tattoo videos actually like blew up for what it was at the time. I think I got like 300,000 views, which for that at the time was a lot of views. So I'm like, okay, so there's something here. And then I started to build it. It's not like overnight I just wake up and I'm going to talk about tattoos. You got to try shit out.
Interesting.
It's not like something's going to come up and you're going to be like, yeah, this is what I'm going to do. It's like a business.
Well, it's funny, right? Because, okay, so that happened to me 2021. 2021, when I moved up to Bolton, I was like, I really want to play drums again. Because I used to play drums when I was younger. When I was 14 to 16, I played drums.
Yeah.
And obviously I'm into like music really pretty heavily. Right. And I was like, right, okay, cool. So I actually Googled it, and I found out that there was like this drum kit I could go and use just to try it before I bought a kit or whatever.
Of course.
And I thought, right, let's go and see. Let's go and trial. Let's see how I feel when I do it, and let's see, And I enjoyed it. It was good. But it didn't, I wasn't craving doing it again. So I thought, oh, okay. I thought it was going to do more for me. Anyway, so I went again. I went like 3 times. And I never was craving to go back again. And I don't know why. So I tried it, and it just didn't quite fit into place for me. So that's the one example I've got where I tried to ease myself back in, and it just didn't feel right. I don't know. It just wasn't there.
Yeah, but I think drums, like musical instruments, because I played the guitar, so I know how long it takes. It takes years to get good at it, to actually understand it, to study it.
I was already of a level. Back when I was younger, I was already of a level. So when I came back to it, I wasn't sharp, don't get me wrong. I could still do stuff. I'm okay,
Yeah, but did you just go there and just did it by yourself, and you just kind of?
Yeah, I did it by myself. I took my headphones, played music, and played along to the songs. Recorded myself doing some bits, just stuff that I remembered from fucking 15, 20 years ago.
So let's put this scenario in. You go on there, you record a drum video, then you make a voiceover over that, or like almost like commentating on what you're doing, how you're doing it, and you post it online. People start commenting and they're like, "You're doing this wrong," and you're like, "Oh, okay, let's start like a conversation." Or I like how you do this, I like how you do that. Wouldn't that push you to want to do it again more?
Maybe.
Because you've now got an audience. Because again, if you're Metallica or someone like that, if they just did it in their back garden, they're not gonna want to do it all the time.
Yeah, that okay.
The reason they do that is because they've got an audience, and music is about an audience.
Yeah, it's about who listens. Yeah, yeah. That's it. That's a good point. That's a good point.
Turn that light on.
Say again.
Just turn that light on.
Yeah, yeah. It's actually a good point. I agree. I agree. So I feel like when people start going to the gym, they just go to the gym, they turn up, but they're not actually pushing themselves hard. They're not actually. There's no competition within themselves. It's just like, yeah. Of course, it's not fun. It's only fun when you start like trying to become good, and you start like, as you say, like even posting it online and take it an audience.
But even the gym, I think the gym is slightly different because you kind of see some like quite rapid results, and people see it. So you see your mate in the pub 2 weeks after you started the gym, and he goes, "You've put on a bit of size." You're like, "Oh, yeah, I have." So whereas with the drums, you're never going to get seen unless you get seen online, or so it's kind of like one of these things that we crave as people, especially nowadays, we crave that attention. So a lot of people get tattooed, for example, because they want other people to see it. A lot of people will go to the gym so other people can see it, or they can fit into a like kind of group.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think you know what's funny when people always say, "I don't care what people think. I do this for me. I don't care if anyone sees it." Bullshit. Everyone does stuff. Like actually, when you break shit down, what's one of the worst punishments you can do for someone? One of the worst punishments you can do to someone is put them in solitary confinement. In prison.
Yeah.
Prison is bad, right? We can all agree going in prison is bad. And what's worse than prison? Solitary confinement. When you see no one and you're in
by yourself.
Yeah, because it drives you insane. So when people say, "I don't care what people think," bullshit. We all do. Like human beings rely on interaction. We rely on it. Yeah. So getting your shit seen, as much as some people might be like, "Oh, it's so 2023. Who cares about Instagram? Who cares?" You should care, because that interaction is really going to help enhance your life in one way, shape, or form. Yeah.
I mean, I tell you what, if I was still to do like the tattoo content and no one was seeing it and I was getting no traction, I wouldn't bother doing it. Why? Like, because I enjoy doing it, but I enjoy doing it because people see it.
Oh, fucking hell. Take that shit down again, right? Imagine if all of these years we've been training, but we never, ever, ever got to take our top off. No one ever saw it. No one ever interacted with us about the fact that we were bigger. Would you do it?
I mean, it's that is exactly like
I don't think
the guy that like benches 220 but doesn't look it, and he's like, that's kind of like a bit like that. And I mean, powerlifters obviously they do it, but within their community, people see it. Like on the outside, people don't. People like, that's why we've got a little bit more of an ego where we're like, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to bodybuild because I want people to know. I want everyone to know.
But right now, like imagine you were 16 whenever the fuck started training, and no one ever interacted with you with your physique. Ever. Not a single comment. You never got to take your top off, never nothing. Would you put yourself through all those hours of pain?
No. Why would you?
Fucking not. Part of the fun of it is the interaction with people and what they see and shit, right?
Yeah.
It's funny. I've never thought of it too much that way, but that is definitely a thing.
You see that with people that just go to the gym to kind of socialize.
Yeah.
You see a lot of that.
I think there's definitely going to be people out there who just go to the gym but don't ever fully appreciate their physique. That's usually because, with all due respect, you haven't got a very good physique.
Yeah.
You know those people who just got like a dad bod, right? Yeah, they turn up to the gym, they never really get their top off, whatever. But if you were to quiz them, if you were to ask them, like, are you content with what you're doing? I bet the answer is no. How can you be content with just turning up, putting yourself through pain in the gym and never getting a result? How? Surely that's just got to be the worst thing ever.
I think the way they feel better about themselves is, well, at least I've gone. So they kind of
I
like
guess.
delude themselves that they're like, well, at least I've been.
I guess that's the answer, but I can't rationalize that in my head. In my mind, I'm like, really?
Yeah,
It's
I'm
funny,
not someone that does that will do something or anything for like no reward in a way of some sort. Like for example, it doesn't have to be money or anything like that, but you get something out of what you're doing.
bro. Let's be real. Everything is for a reward. Everything.
Yeah,
Think about okay. Try and name something that you do that doesn't give you an internal, like a feeling, or an
yeah,
external reward. Try and think of one thing that you do in your life.
there isn't.
There isn't, is there? I literally,
There isn't, and again, that's just by default. People that say that shit, it's false.
it is false. It's bullshit. I don't care what people say. Yes, you do. But the key is to not be completely ruled by what people say. So,
Yeah,
for example, taking your top off in summer, there are going to be some people who go manker. Right?
yeah,
The key is to not let those people win, rather than saying I don't care what people say. No, you do, but
yeah.
just don't let it affect your day too much. Do you know
Well, I
what I
know
mean?
you're asking that about the comments because you're gonna get like
Yeah,
you're gonna get loads of hate, not hate comments, but
yeah,
well, it's like people that take the piss and things like that. Well, yeah, but again, like I look at who is it coming from,
right.
and that's exactly that's where that's where it matters or it doesn't matter.
Definitely. It really matters where it's come from, who said it, why they said it. Because quite often as well, I think that yeah, they're just trying to get a reaction from you.
Oh yeah,
I think some people, maybe gay men or as well, they want interaction with a straight guy, so they'll say something for you to react just so they can get that back and forth with you.
so it's exactly that. It's more it's how you take that and then what you do with it. Whereas if you look at like and back in the day, I would have been someone that jumped straight in and I would spend all my time arguing with people, but now I just completely
Yeah, that's good.
I don't even read the comments half the time.
I guess I guess it's nice because you and me have grown up a little bit from like 5, 6, 7 years ago, so that's good.
I mean, it's
All
funny because like last week, like this weekend, I had this thing where because I've mellowed down a lot, but if you fucking piss me off, I'm still gonna be a fucking cunt.
right. Yeah, no doubt. I sometimes I see like the old version of myself come out, like in certain scenarios, I react really badly, and I'm like, oh man, what the fuck? Like I just replied back to 5 years ago, like
But I think
that's,
sometimes people sometimes need that needs to be to come out so people can sort of see that they can't fucking get away with certain shit. Because think 4 or 5 years ago, people wouldn't dare to start shit with us because we will just rip them apart.
yeah. I feel
Now,
like but that's why some people like doing it because they knew that they were going to get a fucking like the first person that comes to my mind. Do you remember Legs Route?
yes. Are
Yeah,
you
like
still?
he
You
fucking
still? I've never had a problem with him.
no, he likes you. He liked me. He
Right.
liked you, but then he stopped liking me for no reason. And then
Yeah.
he would just hurt me all the time. And then I remember I wanted to go and meet him at one point. I was like, oh fuck, go meet him. And like it's just so mad. Like I like to think that I'm better than that, but sometimes I'm dragged into it. Like sometimes my ego or my temper gets the better of me. But realistically, I'd like to think that I'm better than that. Like if someone's like bobbing off, I don't have to react and say, "Let's have a fight." Like I don't want to be that guy. Um,
I think
but
again, like for example, for him, he was a powerlifter, so he felt strongly about. He had some really strong views about how you should train for powerlifting, like the chains and that. And you were like, yeah, some other shit. And and so it can upset people to a point where they take it personal.
definitely, definitely, it's still a mystery. I'd love to know. I'd love to know. I messaged him off my other account. I had one before the
Is
bodybuilding
he
one.
still on Instagram? I haven't seen.
Oh, we're talking four, five,
Right, okay. Because I
four
was
years.
I haven't seen anything of him, or I don't know where the fuck he went.
4 years ago, he blocked me. I went to his stag do. We went paintballing. I got on
Right,
really well with him. We used to train together. Anyway, then he blocked me. And then I messaged him on WhatsApp, and he blocked the WhatsApp. And I went into my Instagram account. And I said, "Literally, what the fuck? Like, what have I done wrong?" And he blocked me on that as well. So he blocked me everywhere. But then he
right.
carried on slagging me off, and people would send me his shit. So he blocked me, slagged me off, and then people would screenshot and show me. Anyway, whatever. But as I say, I feel like we're never finished art as people. You can become a better version of yourself. You can be a bit more, have a better temperament. You can, be a bit more wise, a bit smarter. But so every now and then, like it still comes out, like what you just said. Do you know what I mean?
I think again, like it depends how it comes across. So if you start it for no reason, which sometimes we used to, sometimes I'll see someone, I'm like, this guy, I'm gonna pick on him.
No.
Whereas I would never do that now. But if provoked, I'm gonna go to fucking town.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
So it just depends where it's coming from and how it comes across.
Do you know what I don't like about myself is I misplace my aggression. So I will get angry in a situation where I should have got angry, and then reverse. So
Yeah.
There's a time me and Amy went on a holiday we went to Greece in 2020. So when COVID hit, then there was a mini break, and then there was another lockdown. In that mini break, so it was July 2020, we went to Rhodes. Anyway, there was this oh God, what was it? Yeah, that was it. So he came over and he asked for a photo with Amy, him and his son. So he was about 45 and his son was about 20. And he said,
right.
Can I have a photo with Amy? He was a foreign guy. And I was like, yeah, sure. I grabbed his phone and he had a photo with her. And I thought they wanted a photo of a good looking girl. I actually took it as a compliment. Anyway, the dad did this. He reached over Amy's shoulder and he grabbed her tit, like right in front of me. I'm stood right there. And he grabbed her tit like that. He started laughing. And what did I do? So I walked over, I put his phone into his chest and I shoved him and he went into a waiter. A waiter was walking past with a load of drinks on a fucking tray and all the drinks fell on the floor. But I wasn't that angry. Amy was more angry. I shoved him and he went off and he was like, oh, like. Amy was more angry. I wasn't angry. And then there'll be a certain time where someone will just beep at me and I'll go fucking bananas.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hold on a minute. There was a time when I should have gone to town on him. And then, I'm just misplacing my anger.
I think it's hard to kind of judge how you feel at one point, at like that certain point. Like once you've got time to like think about it and reflect, I think that's one thing that's good about social media. If you say something to me, I've got time to read it, think, read it again, think, then reply. So that can diffuse a lot of arguments. Same if you send me like a hateful message, I can read it and I can just be like, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
Block him. Whereas if you say that to me on the street, unlikely. But if someone comes up says that to me on the street, that's a different thing.
Yeah, you get like a knee-jerk reaction. Yeah. As much as so I shoved that guy, so I did do something. And he walked off and he apologized. He had his hands up like this. There was fucking glass on the floor. But I wasn't that angry. I had to calm Amy down. Amy was like, what the fuck? This is so disrespectful. I was like, Amy, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And then on reflection, I was like, hold on a minute. I was like...
And especially because you've just got together, so you almost don't want to look like a drip.
Yeah, but I also didn't want to be too angry. I didn't want to seem like I was like, let's fucking fight. I wanted to just enjoy my holiday.
Yeah.
But on reflection, that deserved more anger because that was very, very, very disrespectful.
But also, do you not find like foreign people are just weird? You know, when you like, even here, I'll be walking out and I'll just be like, just see someone. It's just the way they act. They're like stupidly like loud. I'm like, why are you so fucking loud? Like, and then like, for example, like Polish people, if you see like a Polish fucking lad, or like birds, mate, they're like fucking yappy. Like, I'm like, they're just like, they've got certain different things. Like, and that just annoys me. I'm just like, because I've lived all my life here, right? My family's Bulgarian, but I have lived my entire life here. So when I see, like, for example, we got Turkish neighbors and they're just loud. They're just like, when they just speak loudly. And just certain shit that just like, you're not used to seeing here and the way people are here. So it just like annoys you.
100%. So my mum's French Italian. Like, so she always speaks French to all of her family and they fucking yell. They yell. I couldn't believe it. When I was younger, she'd be like, what the hell? Yeah, you're mad.
But
To be honest
over
with
there,
you,
that's normal.
I have the gym that I go to down the road, like the gym group, is literally at the end of the road, and I get stopped in there by like Asian guys, and they definitely act a bit differently. They struggle to give me eye contact. I've had this because the reason why I say they because it's multiple,
Yeah.
multiple. It's not just one dude. It's not two, multiple dudes. They struggle to give me eye contact. They ask me questions about how to build muscle, but don't listen. As I'm talking, they're literally, I can tell that they're a bit vacant, and then they'll start talking over me
Or they're
again. And I'm
looking for
like,
an answer. They're looking for a certain thing for you to say.
yes, so I guess so.
But I think it's more so just how they act, like the mannerism. Like, for example, you're being served somewhere, and there's like a foreign, like European type person, and they come up to you, they're quite blunt. They don't say thank you or please or like whatever. They're just kind of like, what do you want? This, that. And then she'll go, oh, that person's so rude. I'm like, no, they're not rude. It's just how they are. They're just like that. To them, that's normal, and that's how they are in their own country. It's just that we're too polite here.
That is so true. We say sorry a lot. So, oh,
Mm.
sorry, like when someone walks into you in the street, sorry, and you move out of the
Yeah.
way. They don't do that shit.
Mate, when we went to Turkey and there's people like walking, and it's like, when you like do that to like let people move like across, and they'll just like walk. They wouldn't say like,
Yeah, yeah.
and she was like, oh, all right, you're welcome then. She's like, I'm like, nah, it's just how they are. That's not a thing for them to say thank you or anything. It's not the norm.
No, you're right.
They're not rude. It's just how they are.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That is exactly how it is. It's different. Yeah, we're very, very polite over here. Very, but we're weird because like English are also known for being like
I know.
loud and like yobbish. You know what I
I
mean?
know.
So we're like both. We're polite, but we're also yobs.
But that annoys you though, because it's you expect it.
Yeah.
You're like, well, no, if I let you through, you must say
Oh,
thank you.
yeah, or you hold the door open for someone, and they just walk through.
Yeah, yeah. You're like, what the
Say
fuck?
thank you then, cunt. Oh my god. Fuck you know. Yeah, that pissed me off. I hate when kids lie. Like I'm talking like English kids. Their parents clearly haven't told them properly. They're like, you'll let a kid go in front of you in a queue or something, or like you'll let and they don't. Oh my god, teach your kids basic shit.
Yeah.
Please and thank you. It's so easy. It's so fucking easy. And it goes such a long way. Like,
I think it's because like in like nowadays, like kids are just fucking gobby. Like
fuck me.
because they have their phones, they've got all their fucking shit, and they're just fucking gobby little shits.
And
Now you can't hit your kid. Like,
yeah.
bro, when I was little, my mum would fucking slap me all the time.
Oh, I got hit all over the place. In school as well. Amy's a teacher. So in school, like you can't do the teachers can't do anything.
I know.
All the kids have got anxiety. So you can't even raise your voice to them because they've got anxiety and they suffer. Like it's fucking insane. And all of them, like if you even raise your voice the wrong way, you'll get the parent in. It's like it just wasn't like that when I was like in school. It just was not
No,
fucking like that. It just wasn't.
no. And
No,
even me, because I'm like 10 years after you. Even I
even
can
it was like for you.
no.
No,
Like
it's like the last 5 years. I reckon it's fucking.
I think so.
It's
I think so. It's like
fundamentally.
post-COVID. I think COVID is what started it all.
Oh,
Because everyone spent all that time in their house, like at home. So you kind of like you just didn't have that interaction with people. I think that changed a lot.
I think it did. I think it did. Do you know? I've watched so many things about COVID now. How basically people are saying that it was an overreaction, which is what everyone kind of knew anyway. But now people are admitting it. Like officials are now admitting that it was probably an overreaction, and I just think it's so crazy how. Cast your mind back to that. Do you remember? They were literally saying, "Don't go out of your house. Everything was shut. Like you
I know.
can't go. You can't even stand 5 meters from someone. You can't. If you're going to go and visit your family, you had to stand in the garden. Think about that. How fucking crazy is that? And everyone went along with it. Everyone was like, "Yep,
Everyone was
yep,
like, yeah.
yeah, it sounds like a good plan." Insane,
I
insane.
think a lot of people just wanted time. They were like, oh, sweet, we're gonna get time off. We're gonna get to sit at home. But I think that only lasted for about a month. And then after that, everyone was like, fuck.
100%. But also, I feel like a lot of people were breaking the rules as well, like realizing actually this is shit. How many people do you know that were still doing what they wanted to do?
Yeah, but bro, sure. Let's say you're going out your house. Oh, I'm going out my house. But to do what?
Yeah, everything was shut.
There was fuck all to do. So it's kind of like, yeah, you can go out and like pretend you're taking your dog out fucking 17 times a day. What the fuck are you gonna do?
Bro, that was, you know what? You're not over dramatizing. That was a fucking dull, dark time. It was shit. That was so bad. If I remember feeling quite trapped. I remember feeling like I was really against it first and foremost. I was really like, this is such an overreaction. But it felt like there was no way around it. Like you couldn't travel, you couldn't go to the shop, you couldn't go to the cinema, you couldn't go see live music, you couldn't go to your friends, you couldn't do anything. I felt so trapped, man. It was fucking shit. That was so shit. And I cannot
See,
believe that it was a thing.
I didn't feel that way because when it kicked off, I was like working a bit on the doors. When it kicked off, everything shut. A lot of the contracts moved into the shops because you had to do all the queuing and all that sort of stuff. So then I thought, well, I don't want to sit at home. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work that. So I did like a year and a half worked in security. So I literally was working like 60-hour weeks and I was still in the shops. I was still interacting with people. Like, yeah, you had to like follow certain rules, which was a bit stupid. But at the end of the day, like I just kind of thought, well, whatever. I could sort of put up with it. I never had to queue. I still had a gym because I still had somewhere to train the entire time. So I don't know. I didn't feel like it was that awful. Yeah, you couldn't eat out, but
yeah, I maybe I've over dramatized it. So I still had access to a gym. I even had the gym stuff in my back garden. I still did what I want within reason. It wasn't the end of the world. I just feel like I think I was just shocked that the whole world was like disillusioned into thinking that this was actually a good idea. How many people weren't allowed to see loved ones when they died in fucking cancer screenings? Everything else was secondary to COVID. Think about this, Ronna, how many illnesses and fucking diseases and everything there are in the world. Everything was put to one side for COVID.
yeah,
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So I think I was just so disappointed in the world. I was so disappointed in
I
how
know.
quickly people just like went, yeah, all right. Believe it. Fucking shit, mate. I
I
hated it.
think even up to more recently, some countries were still,
Australia.
huh?
Australia. Up until recently,
Canada as
Australia.
well, wasn't it? Canada still.
I
And
think
imagine how many people got
there's
their
been a bit
fucking
more of a
jabs as
research.
well.
Say again.
How many people got their jabs as well?
I had two. I
Oh,
had
did
two.
you?
I didn't want them. I didn't want them, but I had them because I wanted to go
Travel.
abroad. Yeah. Um. Yeah, and I think there's like a resurgence of it now. There's like some people talk about it again now. I made a phone. So yesterday I had a tooth out, by the way.
Oh, you had it out in the end.
Oh yeah, fucking hell. It was causing me so much pain. But anyway, when I called up, they said, "Have you had any COVID symptoms, or was anyone in your house had COVID symptoms?" So they're back on it again. So yeah,
Yeah, but they always ask. They always ask about.
do they? Oh, I thought
Yeah,
they'd.
yeah. Like they'll always ask, like for example, like if you go and do your like donate blood or like shit like that. A lot of the NHS stuff is still like that.
Okay, right.
Um.
Yeah,
So, but yeah, I think now hopefully that's over, and then we won't have to deal with that again. I can't see anyone but our generation to actually have to deal with that.
fuck knows, mate. Who knows what the fucking next 20, 30 years holds? Jesus Christ, it's gonna be very different. I know that much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hard to predict.
I think before we like actually go off, we talk about a little bit about what you're doing now. Did you decide who you're going to go off with?
Yeah. So obviously, I told you last week about Nath.
Yeah.
And I actually spoke to Nath today. Yeah,
Yeah.
today. I messaged him yesterday, officially saying no. Very, very polite.
Yeah.
Like, and he sent me a voice note back, and he is a proper. He's such a nice dude. He really is.
Yeah.
He I don't know. Like he took so much time into me. Then I said no, and he was still super, super polite and super. I don't know, man. I just really rate him as a person.
Yeah, but wouldn't you? You understand that because you know what coaching is like. Coaching is a long-term thing. If you go into coaching like with someone for coaching, like and on our level, people will come in and go all the time, like with our clients and that.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
they're
yeah.
just not serious. But we understand, right? You going with him, he understands that's a long-term thing. So it has to suit you. So if it doesn't, there's no point.
Agreed, agreed. I feel like where you invested that time in me and made that video for me, and he made a plan. He made plans to me. He was like very specific, and then I just said no politely. But
Yeah.
I don't know. He was a complete gentleman about it, and he was like, if you change your mind or if you need anything, let me know. I'm always here, and he was just really cool, mate. So that one's done. I went and trained with Kelvin Hind the other day. You know the guy who came second at Classic Olympia.
Yeah.
He is a very strong potential. Again, no decisions have been made, but he's a strong potential because actually, when we interact with one another, obviously know Kelvin.
Hold on, tell me why.
Yeah, so we speak about training in general, just as you do, like not all the time, but we just do, and we tend to agree, see eye to eye on most things.
Yeah, I would have thought that he would be kind of opposite because he speaks about like 10 sets of 10 on squats and stuff like that.
Oh, but I don't disagree with that. I don't think that you should do it all the time. But I think there's a place for it sometimes. I think high volume is something that I'm swaying more towards.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
I just think someone of your size, I don't think you can handle 10 sets of 10 of squat at your strength. Because let's be honest, he weighs what, 180 pounds?
no, no, he's on stage. He was 230.
No, he's not.
Yeah,
Is he tall?
5'11.
Why have I got the impression that he's like 180 or something?
No, Kelvin's big, mate. And in off season he'll go up to like 250, 260.
Oh, I'm wrong then. I kind of thought he was short. I had an idea that he was short and he okay, yeah, I'm wrong on that then. But
Yeah.
I kind of think like, you know, a lot of the smaller guys tend to train differently.
Sure. I think over the years my opinion changed. It's like adapted, and I definitely think high volume has a place. I think high volume is good. I do. But anyway,
100%.
he's not like it's 10-10 or nothing. He just every now and then we just put it in. You know, like we just agree. We've spoken about volume. We've spoken about food. He prefers modest loads. He prefers cleaner foods. I don't. We just seem to align, and he's done like 80 shows. Sure, his coaching experience isn't as vast, but he's very, very knowledgeable, and I would be his number one guy. That doesn't. I'm not saying that that's foolproof, but what I am saying is, Nave Stars has got about 20 really, really good guys.
Yeah.
You know, and
But
just being one of them.
so if someone's got, I don't see that as a bad thing because if I've got 20 good guys, that means I've peaked 20 guys really fucking well. And these guys trust you. So that means you've done it more times. I think coaching, having coach people, because again, like you know what coaching is like. Coaching is really more about like how you've applied it, not necessarily how good you are, but how you've applied it on other people. So the more times you've applied it, I think the more, and not just necessarily on yourself, but on other people. That's kind of what stands out to me.
You know what though? Yeah, I agree. I don't disagree. I think that I'm easy to prep. I think that I'm easy to peak. I just need someone that I trust, who's good, we agree on, like most things principally, and also is going to make me not make stupid decisions.
Yeah.
That's what I need. I don't need babying.
No.
I'll get lean very easily. Like anyone can get me lean. I just need someone to make me not make stupid decisions. I also don't think that peaking is hard for me. I think get me lean, give me a bit of food, I'm good to go.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's just how I feel. So yeah.
I think if I were you, I would go for someone I don't know.
Yeah, that's the one thing that me and him have both said. The fact that we're friends, you know.
I wouldn't go with a friend. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Because you've got then say, okay, when I went with Louis, yes, we've known each other a long time, but we weren't friends.
Right.
We kind of we've known each other for a long time, but I've never spoken to him anything about anything outside of bodybuilding. So the way it would work is I would check in. he would say, right, you do this, I will do it, I will check in. So it was like that, back and forth. There was no friend talk, like anything like that. And I think that was good. That was the part that I enjoyed, because it was just a completely working relationship. So he's not putting any emotional feeling into how I feel. The same way I'm like that with my clients, where if I've got like, and we've said that before, like before when I'll start with a client, and now we're 3-4 years in, I coach him differently, because I take into account, oh well, he's gonna go to work in the morning, like let me make his day a little bit easier. Before I'm like, no, he must do this. That's the best
so right.
for you to do. Like Josh, for example, I'll be like, oh, I feel for him. I don't want him waking up 4 o'clock in the morning doing cardio when he's got to go to work at 5. Before I'll be like, no, fasted cardio, fucking get your ass up and do it. And
yeah, that's so true. The more you get to know someone, the more empathetic you become about their situation and stuff.
So I think going for someone that you don't know be what I would do.
They'll give me the objective answer. They'll just say, this is what you need to do. It doesn't matter, just get it done. As opposed to someone who's going to be like, yeah, but yeah.
And you feel a little bit like leeway where he'll say, oh, such and such, and you'll be like, well, do you mind if I do such and such? And you'll be like, oh, he's not making fuck it. I don't want to, so he'll go, yeah, and so I think that will be the thing for me.
Yeah. Well, I haven't made a decision yet, and I'm not in a rush, so let it happen. How about you, mate? What have you come to any new conclusions about training?
No, I haven't been to the gym.
Not all week.
No. I probably will go back next week, but I just haven't felt like it. So I just thought, and I've been doing other shit, so I just kind of,
Yeah, why not, mate? Mate, don't force it. Don't force it.
Yeah, I kind of want to get to the point where I miss it. Like the other night, like last night, I was just thinking, maybe I should go tomorrow. Then I got up and I was like, nah, I won't. I'll wait till it comes back to me. It will come back to me. Like not to the point where it's been, but as long like just for like a lifestyle time. I think I'm done with bodybuilding when it comes to the competitive side of it for now. When it comes to that like extreme bodybuilding, 6 meals a day, like I wake up, I eat when I want, I eat 2 meals a day. Funny enough, I still look the same, which for now,
just less volume.
Less volume of what?
Less volume of food in general.
Oh,
the same food, but just less of it.
I eat twice a day. Yeah, I just eat like a normal person. Like I'll drink these like juices from Asda, like yeah. And like I haven't gotten fat. I haven't lost I still kind of look the same. But I was speaking to my mate who kind of like went through something similar, and he's like, yeah, he said that carried on for about 3 months, and literally overnight just went boom, and it just like all disappeared. And he said I had to go back to the gym.
It's going to be interesting. You're going to go back and you're going to be like weaker. You're going to ache like fuck.
But then again, remember, like I've not trained for strength or measured my strength in any capacity, so I don't care for that. Like, it wouldn't matter to me.
I get that, but it's going to be weird, like just going on like fucking like a chest press, like a machine chest press, and putting like a plate and a half on it. It's going to be strange.
Bro, do you think so though? Because I think once you get to a certain strength level, you might lose maybe a plate and a half. Okay. If you're doing 4, but I still think you can do 3. Like,
you're probably not going to go that bad. Yeah, I'll agree.
I don't think you're going to lose.
If it were to be like a free weight, let's say the 1 rep max is 200 kilo, yeah. If you didn't train for 3 months, I would say you'd probably go down to about 140, 150.
Yeah.
Like so still good. Still good, just not extreme.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't even do that just for safety. But you got to remember, like when you go back to like you haven't trained for so long, you're going to make progress on very little.
I wasn't saying that I would advise it. I was just saying it's like because when it's free weight, it's very relatable, isn't it? Because like 200 kilo is 200 kilo.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter on the machine. Yeah, no, you're right. You're going to see significant changes really, really fast because the muscle exists. It's just fucking right. Yeah.
That's why I'm not scared of like that. I'm not like before. I'd be like, oh, I can't. I'm going to shrink. I know that as soon as I get back in, it will come back straight. Well, again, it hasn't gone anywhere yet. But I'm kind of thinking, right, what do I do in that time between now and the kind of the 1st of October when I go and get my hair done? And at that point, I can't then train for another month. So what do I do in that time? So that's why I'm kind of relaxed about it, because nothing I do in those 2 weeks is going to make a massive difference.
Maybe just Nothing.
That's what I'm doing. Yeah.
Nothing.
So
Yeah. Fuck it. Yeah, I mean, there's no pressure on it, and it feels like you're at peace with it. So it's like, yeah, fuck it.
yeah, I mean, I tell you what, if I start losing size and I start getting smaller, plus for my content, I can't get small. I can't like.
But for you to be small, if you're still on like tests, yeah, you're still on like what 200, 250, 300
I'm
tests.
still 115 kilos
Yeah, you ain't
because
gonna
I
get
still weigh
small.
myself.
You ain't gonna get small for 12 months.
Oh
Like,
no,
like, do you know what I mean? It won't. You won't. It's gonna be very, very gradual.
yeah.
You
I
won't be
mean, I
small
tell you
for a
what,
while.
I got my blood work. I got my blood work done on Monday. Because like I was talking to Hilly about this, and he goes, "Look, there's got to be something." You're like, you shouldn't feel like that. Like, I don't know what it is, but you shouldn't feel like that. So I got my blood work tested. My test is at 15.
It's quite
Let
low.
me find it.
It's quite low.
It is low, yeah, it is low. But I'm taking like one shot once a week,
One
and
shot. How much?
well, I'm taking so it's 15. Yeah, so you see testosterone here. Oh, this way. So testosterone is at. I don't know if you can see that. Or is it flipped?
Wait,
Or
wait,
what?
wait. Hold it. Hold it. Yes, I can see. Yeah, 15. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's 15.4. But like I've been like really inconsistent with my shots and that. So I'll take like half a mil. So that's like 150 meg. But I'll kind of take it like every 8, 9 days or like whatever.
So that works out about right then. That works
Yeah,
out
but
about
I
right
feel
then.
good though. I feel all right. I feel fine. I think at the time I'd done my blood work. I hadn't done a shot for about 7 or 8 days.
I think it's just the prep. That prep just took it out of you. I think.
Yeah,
You need a little bit of time to recover from that. I think.
yeah. And again, I'm kind of like happy to not. Do you not find this weird? Like some guys are like, I don't know if you found that. There's like a guy that's always kind of, I'm gonna do a show, I'm gonna do a show, I'm gonna do a show. And once they like get to finally do that show, they're kind of like, yeah, whatever now.
Definitely. James Underwood's like that as well.
Really,
James Underwood competed 2 weeks ago.
he look good though.
Yeah, he did look good. Yeah, yeah. He came second and he looked good and he's really happy and he's just like, yeah, I'm done. And they're like, are you gonna do another one? Are you gonna do British finals? He's like, no, I'm good.
I think he. Well, okay, again, I haven't spoken to him about that because I've spoken to him about, but not about that. So I think when you look good, in a year or whatever that might, I think I might still compete. Who knows? It's just at that moment in time, it's not there for me, and I would not force it. So
Yeah. I think that's really good advice for anyone, isn't it? Like, if it's not there, it's not there. A bit like, like what we talked about earlier with hobbies and doing something else. I don't want to, so I won't. I'm not going to go, oh, I need
yeah,
to do something else. It's like, no, I'm cool. I'm cool. I'm actually really happy generally in my life, so I don't need to go looking for something else. So I'm cool.
yeah.
If it comes up naturally, sure. But yeah.
When would you start like a prep for something like that? Yeah,
So right now, obviously, I don't know if you know. I'll tell obviously. I don't know if you know. I'm cutting down. I've been cutting down for almost
yeah,
4 weeks.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so 4 weeks. I look shitter at the moment.
Well, you're starting to look. I see the pictures you put up
Like
the that
today,
story, and that
yeah,
looks good.
I feel smaller. Amy said to me yesterday, she goes, "You literally look smaller." I was like, "Oh,
So for you, right? For you, for your standards of how you look, how you've looked, and how you normally look, sure. But I think for in general, you don't look bad. You look. I think you look good.
yeah, yeah, it's okay. Just a bit flat through the top line and everything like that, but not bad." Anyway, I'm going to go for another 4 weeks, so there'll be 8 weeks in total. At that point, I'm going to push up until end of January, and then February, March, April, I'm going to come down.
Okay. So earlier shows again.
Yeah, I think I want to give myself the option of potentially doing the universe and some IFBB shows. NPC. Yeah,
Yeah. Is Amy? Oh yeah, you said she's not doing anymore.
yeah. Amy's gonna take. She wants to take 12 months off now.
Yeah. Yeah.
She was very fresh though, mate. She was battling with the idea to do another one, but she was really not done. But physically, she was great. She
You
was still
find
sleeping. She was still sleeping 8 hours a night. She was great. But she's fine. So
you
yeah,
find females
for
can
me,
do.
man, like it'll be. So I've done 3 months, then I had my surgery off season, and then I'll do another 3 months. So it'll be six
Yeah.
months in total, but just split up a little bit.
You're gonna take your body weight up really high.
No,
No.
no, just enough, you know, just enough. So I'll probably take it to about 280, 285, probably.
Oh, you're not gonna go up to like 300.
No, it feels needless. I'll be honest, it feels needless.
Thing.
Yeah, I don't think that I need to do it. I think if I go from like 260 up to 285, I'll stay lean. I'll look really, really good.
True.
I won't spoil the look. And then when it comes to prep, it's easy again,
Yeah.
you know?
And that 15 pounds, or like, let's say you get to three. What did you get to, like 305 or something last time?
Yeah, before, yeah.
And then to get before prep. So then to come down to 285, which is, they say, 30 pounds. How long does that, like 20 pounds, 30 pounds? How long does it take it to come back down to like 280?
From 305.
No, let's say 30 pounds. So let's say from 28,
Okay.
so 305 to 275.
Yeah, that would take about 6 weeks, probably. Yeah, 6 to 8 weeks, probably.
So it's not like that. So for example, when I come from 270 down to 240, 30 pounds, I take that off in about 4 weeks.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think. So recently, I've just gone from 292 to 270. So I've just taken 22 pounds off.
Yeah.
And I've done that in 4 weeks.
Okay.
And I've done it very easy. I'm barely even doing much cardio. Just go for a walk.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but that for you, because obviously you wear a lot, so that for you is a significant amount.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
So, but I don't like putting myself 300 plus because it gives a certain look. Yes, I look full. I just get soft. My weak areas, I just go shit. So my
Right.
ass gets fat, my lower back gets fat, and my chest looks smaller because of my proportions.
Do you not
It just
think,
looks
like
shit.
when you're dieting right now, do you not think, let's say I assume you're cruising as well?
No, I'm going hard.
Oh, okay.
I'm not 900 tests, 500 EQ, 300 MPP.
Okay. Oh, I was assuming if you're dieting down, you're cruising. I was just gonna say, like, almost do it as like a rebound. Almost like get lean to the point where you can actually utilize like a rebound.
Exactly. And then when it comes to then when I start prep, I'm going to look really full and big.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I want to be. I want to be 285, but like super lean still.
Yeah, because really that's like only what, like, well, 25 pounds off, 25, 30 pounds off stage.
Yeah. Yeah, I think stage weight's probably about 255, so I'm only 15 pounds above that. But when you're going down, you look chitter.
Yeah.
So I'm only 15 pounds above stage weight right now, but the look doesn't translate that, if I'm honest.
Oh yeah. I mean, when you come down to, let's say, 260 and you push up to 280, that 280 is going to be way better than.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's the idea, mate. Just I'll spend the latter part of the year pushing up, and then have a really easy prep next year. That's it, mate. That's it. But anyway, mate, let's wrap it up.
Yeah.
Been a pleasure, mate, as always.
Yeah. All right. We'll catch up next week
Catch you
again.
later, mate. See you next week.